Hello and welcome to the Gamers Table Independent Edition. It is Friday, and we are reviewing
Warfare.
Warfare's not too bad of a game.
The players battle each other to gain victory bonus cards, which help them in battle and allow them to capture targets. Once all four corner targets have been captured, the center primary target can be captured. The first player to capture the primary target wins. For me, the major downfalls of this game is the length, and just the combat really comes down to the die rolls. You can have modifiers, attack +1, defense +1, but for the most part, it's how you roll this.
We got a game board. We've got 4 colors of tokens of the players, 4 for each one, and we've got the objective tokens. Each player has his own die. There is a set of the funky little victory cards. There's a set of cards for telling what each particular unit is, and there's some unit type cards that you can change around. And there is, of course, the manual. The first thing I wanted to say about this is that it is made by a guy in the military. I can't remember what branch. Sorry, I can't remember right now what branch of the military you're in. Don't come and raid my studio. But because of that, I understand that when you're on deployment somewhere, there's a lot of, if you're not on duty, you have a lot of downtime where you're not doing much. And this kind of game, and the length it is, makes sense for there. As sitting at a table with 4 gamers who have more games that they can play, this game, for what it is, goes on really, really long.
Yeah. And if you happen to get some bad rolls or just not the amount of movement you need or anything like that, it's just, you're gone. You've got to start over again. And that kind of back and forth, I just don't care for it.
You start up the game by dealing 4 units to every player, and then they can match it up with whatever symbol they want. And then you go to deploy.
Specifics.
So you have 4 different tokens, and each one of them has a different symbol on it. And you get a set of 4 cards, which symbols match the tokens. So that's a star-shaped one. That's the star-shaped token. And when you get assigned units, you can choose which, this particular one, artillery. I'm going to put this one under it so I know this unit is my artillery unit, which is kind of nice, which means you don't need more tokens to have each unit for each guy be completely different than the other guys. And that's the sort of thing you're looking for in this type of game. You want as much variety as possible. And as you can see here, the stack of different units that you can be is pretty damn big. You have a lot of stuff. And on each unit card, there will be the name of what kind of unit it is. And then there'll be some instructions about the unit. And there'll be down in the corner a little diagram of how far away this particular unit attacks. And each one has a different attack range. Some of them have multiple attack ranges on them, which is kind of nice.
Really not that hard to learn. The rulebook's pretty good and all that. There's not that much to it.
You roll the dice, and then you deploy it on any number that matches what you rolled.
Mm-hmm.
And so based on this stuff, you move your guys around, and the idea is to take all these 4 corner objectives. Nobody can touch the center one until all 4 corner ones are gone. One person doesn't have to have all the 4 corners, but they have to all be taken before the center one can go.
Having the objectives helps in order to capture the other objectives, but it's not necessary. You can have somebody do all the hard work, and then you can just finish up the second. But the number of the objective is also how difficult it is. So the 1 is really easy, the 2, 3, and it goes right up to 5, which is very difficult to get.
Now, do you remember how the different zones worked?
The different zones are, I think they're for deployment. You can't deploy 2 guys in the zone right next to each other. And it's for when you're bringing your units back in.
Right.
This game is good strategically.
Oh, yeah.
But it's a lot of really back and forth. And I mean, to build your units up where they're strong enough to be very useful, then they become big targets. And there's a lot of unit cards that can just destroy themselves in another unit. It's like, wow, all that work, and someone just suicide bombed my guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember one particular game where you had some really big, crazy, powerful units out there, and it's like, we didn't want to go anywhere near you. And it's like, I got no cards. What am I going to fight?
So then I started picking on Ken to just try and build my units up to be able to take Chris
fight
out.
Back and forth. It's like I'm trying to avoid Chris, but oh crap, Chris is going to win. What are we going to do? I don't know what to do.
There's a bit of a game where it's sort of like, well, I'm not going to grab it. You know, like I'm in position to get the 5. I'll just wait for them to grab it.
Yeah.
It's
That
like, oh, we're not
waiting
going to grab it.
game.
You're going to have to come and grab it. And the movement, I remember, was pretty sluggish as far as it came around to you and you roll the dice and you can move that many, and it was pretty restrictive.
Yeah. But it's not that huge of a board when you got 4 people with, I mean, that's 16 units on the board. That's a lot of space taken up. There's usually somebody within range of you, even if you roll badly.
Yeah.
And like I said, this game it's meant for people who like strategy. It's meant for people who like a game that's going to be somewhat frustrating because you're almost there and wham, I took away one of your victory cards. Haha, you're not there anymore. Or I took out your only good unit. Haha, start over. Okay, it's time to go on duty yet. But it's for that, it's enjoyable. The combat isn't difficult.
No, it's very simple, easy to learn. The rules are very clear and concise. The components are very nice. Did a good job. Does what it needs to do. It's like, as you said, it's for us it is too long, but for someone who's got nothing to do for a long period of time that likes the strategy, this is all right.
Yeah. And there's a lot of options like Ken's picking up there, the attack cards. Lots of different things can go onto your unit.
There's a whole like that's what one thing I liked about this was the variety of everything in here, the variety of the bonus cards and stuff. Well, you got multiple copies in there too, but there's a good stack of everything here, and the units you get too. There's
so many
very good
ones.
variety in there as well, and the different attack ranges and stuff. That's one thing you really got to watch too, is the lines they're on and everything like that, and the numbers you're on, and be very careful where you're playing. There's a good amount of strategy to this.
But the nice thing is that sort of stuff is public information. You can
Yeah.
see what kind of unit he's got coming at you. So you know, okay, I'm attacking that one over there because I can take that guy out, and then the other guy's to stop running away from me! Stop dragging this out, I'm going to get you! Okay, run into my pad, run into my pad. Ha! My artillery can get you, boom! Screw you!
There's no wounds, there's no recovery. It's sort of like you lose the round of combat, you're done. Your guy's gone. And all the work you put into getting cards to add to his strength is just gone. I mean, it's realistic in that sense. You know, you got your military guy, he trains, he's really good, but, you know, all it ever takes is one bullet and bam, he's gone.
I will say it was not that difficult to get up to 4. The first 4 objectives we cleared, and we had a lot of fun doing that. Then it just gets to the 5, where it's the grind of like, sorry, you're not tough enough to get into 5 yet.
Yeah.
So you're going to have to beat up the other guys who are also trying to get tough enough to get into 5. And then you get in there and you lose one guy and say, okay, get out.
Yeah, there's those waiting games too, is you know, okay, there's the one there. We need somebody to go in there and attack that, but who's it going to be? Because the other guy's sitting right outside the 5 or really ready to go in. He's tough, and I don't have enough cards to do anything about it, but he's not going to come over here and take that last spot so we can get in there, so crap.
You're doing the 3 and the guy's parked at the 4. And if I take the 3, he's going to get the 4 before I can do anything about it.
Frustrating waiting game too, and it's quite a bit of back and forth, which I don't care for too much.
Yeah, the game is very simple. It's on your turn you can either move, attack, or deploy, or redeploy.
Yeah.
And move, you can attack after your move if you have one movement left and you're within attack range. But it's all very simple. If you move, you roll the dice, you move that many in a straight line, or if you have something special like 90-degree turn within your movement, that would be very powerful.
Or you got extra movement cards or
extra
whatever.
+1 movement here, and +1 to attack, +1 to defend. There's a good variety of stuff. 90-degree turn.
But you're only moving one piece per turn, so the turns go around fairly quickly.
And wrapping up for Warfare. So the theme is you're deploying different warfare units on a battlefield and attempting to claim specific objectives. Yeah, pretty much.
Actually, all you need to do is collect one objective.
You just got to get the 5, but somebody else has got to get the other 4. Somebody's got to help you out.
Yeah.
Easy to play.
It's like you let us do all the work and then steal the glory.
It seems like it'd be complicated with this stuff, and that board really looks like it'd be complicated, but it's not. It is really easy to play. It's just a long game. Fun to play. That's where I'm divided, because it is kind of fun to play. It's just at the end it's going to drag on. Up until that point, you're having a lot of fun, but then when you get to the 5, you lose it and realize, okay, now I got to do all that stuff all over again to try and get up there and stop anybody else from getting off. That takes it down a bit. So I give Warfare a 7.
Well, I don't know if I can go that high. I did find it like way too much back and forth in it, and especially you do leave the 1-shot, 1 kills in there or something. It can just get crazy, like taking out the guy who's got 4 or 5 cards on him. That can drag it out big time. If somebody does manage to get ahead and start collecting cards, they start sending those particular units after everybody, and they're hard to fight off if you're not. Like what I said earlier, Chris had a lot of guys with a lot of big cards on there and good cards, and Craig and I ended up fighting amongst each other while Chris just sat outside waiting for us to take the other objectives and steal all the glory and make us do all the work.
Have we ever seen Chris do that in a game before?
But yeah, I just find it goes on too long. I don't mind the strategy. I don't mind the variety in the cards and stuff. The artwork's all right. The board does look crazy, but it's not that hard to learn. Other than that, the components in the boards and the variety of the cards is all good. That's not a problem at all in this. It's just the back and forth, the length. So just a 6 for me.
For me, it's just a little on the long side. Like that's my only issue with it. The strategy I like, the turn, it flows well. There's a few broken cards, a few broken jobs or unit types, but for the most part, it's a pretty cool game. Like you want to position yourself where you can defend your weaker units or the other units, sort of like throw them in the way. You throw a weaker unit in the way so they can't get at your tough unit.
Oh, sorry, Chaplain, you're going to have to get out there and take one for the team.
Yeah.
Oh, please, you don't want to kill me now. Yes, I do. Bang.
Here's the random movement of rolling, kind of slowed it down.
Rolling the dice, and I find the combat's a little too final. It's sort of like I built up, and then one bad combat, and it's gone. I gave Warfare a 6.
That's it for this episode of the Gamers Table Independent Edition. Tune in next Friday where we review another game.
Yes, that's what we did.
That plus, I remember that, and they get into the corner. Ah, you're in range. Boom. Start over. Military, sorry.
Military, sorry.
Go back to the start. Right.